As the final week deadline looms at the Iowa State House, lawmakers face jam-packed schedules of meetings to get legislation through this hurdle. Local 5's Mary Sugden was at the Capitol for two of those meetings focused on issues impacting transgender youth and joins us with what lawmakers are considering.
Stephanie, lawmakers considered two measures focused on trans youth. The first requires a student to use the restroom that corresponds with the gender they were assigned at birth. The second prohibits trans kids under the age of 18 from receiving gender-affirming care like medication or surgery.
Transgender students in Iowa have been able to use the restroom that matches their gender identity since 2007, and over that 15-year period, we haven't seen any uptick in school restroom-related safety incidents.
Iowans against the measure, forcing trans students to use the bathroom matching their gender assigned at birth, say trans youth are not a risk or threat to other students.
When my daughter is in the restroom, she just wants to use the restroom. She's not there to harm your children. She's just there to go to the bathroom, just like any other kids are.
Supporters, however, say this is a common sense change that's well overdue.
This is a common sense and proactive legislation to prevent a tragedy from happening in Iowa like we've seen in the Virginia school, where a sexual assault happened in a bathroom.
But I want to point out that my concern isn't about transgenders. It's not those individuals that are most likely to be sexual predators, but rather the sexual predators that could exploit this type of situation by posing as transgendered in order to gain access to women and girls.
Then comes the bill which would ban gender-affirming care for Iowans under the age of 18. Supporters say these medications and procedures are harmful to young Iowans they believe will likely later change their minds.
85 to 95% of kids who go through this phase change their mind by the time they're an adult. This is not a decision that should be made by them or their parents during their minor years.
Those against the measure say every medical association supports gender-affirming care, pointing to the evidence-based research that exists.
We once again need to speak up to keep third-party decision makers out of our exam rooms, in our clinics and our hospitals across the state of Iowa, and keep the treatment decisions and discussions between a patient and their healthcare provider.
Now, each of these measures made it out of their subcommittees and on to committee, and this comes as the final week deadline is looming at the end of this week. That's when bills need to be out of committee in order to be eligible for debate and potentially passage by lawmakers. Stephanie.
Mary, thank you.